You good, bro? I bet! I think I found something new I can hyperfixate on. Terrible reality dating shows. Yeah, they're awful and showcase the worst of the human race, but it's like watching a train wreck. You know you shouldn't stare, but you just can't look away. Last time it was Love Island. The latest season of that show was mwah, straight ass. But now that it's over, I'm on the hunt for some new ass.
You want to explain to me what you're doing here?
I came looking for booty.
And that's exactly what I found. This show is complete and utter filth, right down to its core. Whoever came up with this idea is probably evil, but it gave me something entertaining to watch, so I'll give them a pass. Ethics? To hell with ethics. The viewer's enjoyment comes first.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Would you like to sign our petition to get more humane treatment for—
If you don't get that bullshit out of my face, bitch.
I've edged you guys for long enough. It's time to watch Temptation Island. I'd say the concept of this series is the most horrid I've ever seen, but there's another one competing with it for that top spot. But that's a video for another day. The premise is 4 couples at a crossroads in their relationship put their love to the test by giving this single life a try. Yeah. They'll take a break from each other by living in separate houses with sexy singles to discover if there's another partner with whom they are more compatible. In the end, will the couples leave together? Will they leave with one of the island's tempters? Or will they break up and go home alone?
You make me not want to have kids.
This show is glorifying cheating. There's no other way to put it. They're making a spectacle out of people's vulnerable relationships because if everything was going swimmingly, they wouldn't be here. Maybe I'm being too harsh once again. Just because you lump a guy in a house with 15 bad bitches who are actively trying to fuck him while him and his girlfriend are on the worst possible terms doesn't mean he's gonna cheat. Right? Let's meet the lovely couples. Javen and Cherie have been dating since they were 16 years old. He cheated on her when he went to college, so she has her reservations on getting married.
I caught him cheating a few years ago, but at the same time, I just want him to prove to me that he's actually officially changed because there is still reservations there for sure.
Let me get this straight. He cheated, so her solution is to see if he'll do it again. Was the first time not enough? If you're so worried about him cheating, as if he hasn't already done it before, how about you just leave? Has that not crossed your mind? So that means 2 must be the limit, right? The first one's a given. It can happen to anyone. Maybe he slipped and his dick fell inside her vagina. And whenever he tried to get himself out of there, he kept slipping because the janitor who just mopped forgot to put down a wet floor sign. And since he didn't have his non-slip shoes on, he had to keep attempting it over and over again until he was able to build up a burst of energy and shoot himself out of there. That's not a crime. Accidents happen. Everybody gets one. But if he does it again, he'll be in some big trouble. That's where she draws the line. You're on thin ice, pal, so watch your step. John and Katie met on Bumble and have been together for 3 years since. So for those of you who don't believe dating apps can breed long-term healthy relationships, these 2 are living, breathing proof. That's why they're on this show. The issues they're dealing with is that Katie thinks John is a bit of a beta bitch and questions his masculinity several times a week.
I grew up around more traditional men, kind of more of a cowboy attitude, and John isn't so much the mold that I was used to.
Katie questions my masculinity a couple of times a week. She says she wants like an alpha male, like a Southern gentleman, and I'm definitely not that type. I'm very humble.
Hey John, you sound like a nice guy. A bit too nice, honestly, so it pains me to say this. But have you tried breaking up with her? That might be the perfect remedy for the predicament you currently find yourself in, because your girlfriend fucking hates you. I'm sorry. She made a joke about him having a small dick 4 minutes into episode 1.
This is a real short barrel too, so that makes it harder, right?
Don't make excuses about your short barrel.
And is actively trying to turn him into something he fundamentally is not.
This is exactly the type of thing that, I want us to do more and I want you to do.
Sorry to tell you once again, but you are not the man for her. To be frank, I don't even think she sees you as a man at all. To her, you're in your soft boy era, a passenger prince. Nicole and Carl have been dating for 2.5 years, and their problems started at the start of their relationship. When they met, Nicole had a boyfriend.
At the time, I had a boyfriend, so it didn't progress super fast.
Another cheater. Shocker. As a result, he's afraid of her being taken from him the same way he took her from her ex.
I believe we both have some trust issues. When I met her, she had a boyfriend at the time and she broke up with him. In my head, like, all right, if she could do it to him, it could happen to me as well.
Hey Carl, you seem like a decent enough guy. Have you tried leaving her? I apologize if I sound like a broken record, but if you want a relationship that'll last, you have to be strict. And by strict, I mean having a set of rules and boundaries that can never be crossed. These can be uniquely created based off the individuals and the dynamics they want. But once they are set, they cannot move, bend, or waver. Because once you give someone who's wronged you an inch, they will take a mile. We are human, and humans are opportunistic by nature. If someone can do something they know is wrong with no repercussions, why would they stop? The fear of shame and or punishment is a great way to keep people in check. Now, I'm not saying go and be a dictator. All things can be negotiated prior to the relationship. But to preserve yourself, you have to stand on whatever you believe will keep you from being hurt. In relation to Carl and Nicole, there is literally a golden universal rule that pertains to trying to get someone in an already existing relationship. First of all, don't do that. That's bad. And more importantly, if you somehow manage to get them, you cannot, and I can't stress this enough, you cannot cuff them. I don't care how they look, how they act, or what they say. You cannot get into a relationship with them. Those kind of people do not know loyalty. They got snatched from their partner by you. And you're a bum. Imagine what will happen when someone with more to offer comes along. It won't matter who you are, how good you think you look, or how much money you have. Kevin O'Leary has a net worth of $400 million. And to Bill Gates, he's a fucking bum. You are no different. We're all a bum to someone. Eventually, somebody will come along and mug you. Physically, emotionally, and financially. And to them, that'll be enough reason to jump ship because the word loyalty doesn't exist in their universe. Nicole's reservations is that she believes their relationship is very shallow.
What I'm most nervous about is Carl connecting with a woman on a different level than he connects with me. Our age gap and the maturity is a big difference in our relationship. And I think if he was to meet somebody that was older, it can happen. Which
perfectly encapsulates the whole rant I just went on. I doubt he'll ever completely open himself up to a woman who he in the back of his mind thinks will get taken from him. This relationship shouldn't exist to begin with. And last but not least, Casey and Evan. They've been dating officially for 5 years, but have been on and off for 10 because he'd keep breaking up with her to go have shoo-snoo with other girls while in college.
I'm Casey.
I'm Evan.
We have been dating on and off for 10 years and exclusive for 5. We met when we were 19 years old and it was very on and off. We tried dating. He was in college playing basketball, doing that whole single boy thing.
I mean, that's technically better than cheating, so respect for breaking up with her whenever another woman gives you a boner. The bar is in hell. Hey Casey, you seem like a sweet girl. Have you considered leaving? She's given him an ultimatum to get married in 2 years.
If I don't propose to her before 30, then she will leave me.
I can't get my boyfriend to marry me. There's a million dudes out there that are gonna ask me to marry them.
Stop the cap.
Because her religious family judges the sinful life she lives. You know, all the premarital snoo and stuff. She should have used her butt like a real Christian.
Marriage to me is really important. My family's religious. They don't like the fact that we're living together and we're not married. And it's been years. Living in sin.
Evan, on the other hand, has been through a lot. His father was a cheater. He cheated on Evan's mom with a mistress, and when said mistress's husband found out, he murdered him.
You know, my dad cheated on my mom, and it led him down the road to actually be murdered by the woman that he was cheating with, husband.
It's honestly tragic, and I respect him even more now. He's well aware that he likes to get with other women, and so is Casey. He's gonna do what he wants to do, so it's up to her to decide if she wants to put up with that. But if she chooses to, she cannot complain. You know who he is and what he does. As shitty as this sounds, at least he's straight up honest about it. So he denies the marriage, even though liking the idea of it.
I love the idea of marriage, right? I want to spend the rest of my life with Casey, and I'm scared that I'm going to hurt you like my dad hurt my mom.
He knows he can't stop himself. And with what happened to his dad, he needs a quick and easy way out of a relationship so he can get his rocks off without legal consequence of a false promise. But she keeps taking him back, and that's where the issue lies.
Commit to me, Ev. I'm not asking for a lot.
For a regular man, it's not. For Evan, it's practically impossible.
Bitch, I'd rather die!
Those are the contestants. Ta-da! Half of them have dealt with infidelity and another has found a loophole. Those are the people they'll be putting in a house with 15 sexy singles who are actively trying to tempt them. What could go wrong? Once the island's tempters have all introduced themselves, the gravity of the situation the couple signed up for start to dawn. Some people start regretting their decision to be here.
Why do we come here?
And others start to argue.
This whole lineup was horrible for men, I feel like, for you guys.
Oh, so you think it's good for you?
I didn't say anything like that.
So why wouldn't you say it was horrible for you too?
Are you serious? Like, you're my girlfriend. Like, I'm not worried about no one. Like, I don't have any issues. Like, you're like accusing me to be attracted to people, and I'm not. I'm not worried about nobody. Okay, so don't put stuff in my mouth. Any ideas in my head that's not there. I mean, what's wrong with you?
Are you kidding me? She's scared. She's the crazy one.
While we're on Cherie, she was not having it with any of these girls and kept making rude comments while they were introducing themselves.
Because your journey begins right now.
Not too impressed. Sorry, not sorry. Hi, I'm Allie from Fort Lauderdale. I have a master's in communications, so I've mastered the art of persuasion. But don't let my degrees fool you. I know how to have a great time. Persuasion. Butt cheeks out. Hey guys, I'm Sheldon. I'm sorry to break the news to you ladies, but odds are one of your guys is gonna fall for me. That's hilarious. Oh my god, that's like the funniest joke I've heard. So much shade. Drama. She's so insecure. She looks trashy. She's so mad. She's so nervous. Oh, they're gonna kill me.
Whoa, it is not that deep. But if it is, say it with your chest if you really bought it. Tiffany?
Pull up in front of my house. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to pull up in front of my house. Pull up in front of the motherfucking precinct and let's bang out. And let's do it on camera. I throw my life away and you throw your life away right now.
It's also very interesting to see Casey's unwavering confidence in Evan.
I'm on the island to take control of my love life, and I'm looking for a man to be my partner. That was confident.
Hey, you're friendly with these girls. Okay. Dang.
I'm secure in myself. What?
Okay.
That man could sell her a bridge and she'd pay double. And the way some of these ladies are able to point out which contestants their boyfriends would be attracted to is wild. I'm not gonna show who they're talking about as it would ruin the surprise, but the levels of foreshadowing in episode 1 is nuts. It's officially time to part ways, and while everyone is saying their heartfelt goodbyes, Cherie and Javen are still... they're still arguing.
I love you.
Okay.
Act like you love me, at least. Smile, be confident.
You're an advice.
You're the queen that you are.
I am a queen.
Okay,
and
then
I'm
act like
arguing
it
with
then.
you. I don't care. I'm not worried about the singles. I'm confident as ever.
Okay, don't mention it then.
Okay.
Love each other. It's gonna be the last night. Love each other. Love each other.
Hey, Chada, they cooked? Because things aren't looking too good right now. I've never seen a more it's so over relationship in my life. Now the guys and girls head to their separate houses to get to know their tempters over some cocktails. Some of the guys are overly aggressive.
Are you just here to like bring yourself up, or are you actually trying to meet us?
I'm here, right?
Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, you're going to know exactly what I'm thinking at all times.
You're a little aggressive. Like, calm down.
Good point.
Some of the single guys kind of made me feel just a little uneasy.
While some of the girls are overly going.
Let's have fun. Let's be friends. Let's be best friends and then maybe even lovers.
At one point, 2 of the girls start fighting over Evan.
Does anyone want to know about me at all? Of like what my attractions are? Thanks, honey. I'm here on Temptation Island to find love, but I think there's a lot of strong personalities.
So you get the Oreo, you get the chocolate, and you get the vanilla.
First of all, he looks like a serial killer with those sunken eyes. What are we doing here? And secondly, what can I say apart from this is just cringe? Morgan's over there being a little pick-me, thinking she's better than the other women because her strategy is to be mysterious.
I'm not going to be too thirsty because I'm assuming that that's what the other girls are going to do, and I think that'll make me stand out. So that's my game plan.
And Catherine's only goal here is clearly to get her back blown out. So she's gonna try and get that done through any means, I guess. Like, why are you putting your hands on someone and pushing them over a man you just met? Is cock the only thing on your mind? Going back to the girl's house, Katie is already insulting John with a guy she barely knows.
Yeah, there you go.
Katie.
Katie.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, Katie.
Nice to meet you. You seem very deep and very passionate.
Yeah.
My boyfriend is not.
What do you mean he seems deep and passionate? You don't know him. You guys literally just exchanged names. John, Jonathan, Johnny boy. I'm gonna put my hand on your shoulder while I tell you this. Your girlfriend despises every fiber of your being. And I'm just keeping it a buck, bro, chacho. The episode ends with the host giving everyone a chance to block their partner from dating one person who they deem to be a threat to their relationship.
Each one of you can use this to block a single from dating your partner.
Most of them decline because they're here to fully immerse themselves in the experience and they don't want to interfere with anything their partners could potentially do, which is the correct move. John and Katie see things a bit differently though. Katie blocks John from dating Catherine because she thinks she's just the hottest girl there.
It's okay, John. We'll still live together.
And John blocks Katie from dating Roman because in John's eyes, Roman is the manliest man there and he's trying to keep his girlfriend away from a manly man because he knows he's not a manly man.
I blocked Roman. She's a big sucker for country boys. I was like, all right, that's a deal breaker.
John! You're cut! You're cut, John! You're cut! That's pretty much it for episode 1. All the fun stuff happens down the line. But before we get to that, it's time to put in your bets. With all the information you currently know, which couple do you think will survive? Yes, I said couple. Singular. Only one of them will make it through, so choose wisely. Will it be Javen and Cherie?
I ain't gonna be able to touch your body or see you for love. Yes.
John and Katie?
Love you.
Be closer after all this.
Sure.
Nicole and Carl?
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Or Casey and Evan?
I think this is an experience for couples that are at a crossroads, and we could not be at more of a crossroads.
I'll give you a moment to lock in your choice. Okay, time's up. Before we get into it, I have to tell you guys about the bonfires. It's an event where the host gathers each segregated group every other day or so and shows them a video of what their partner has been up to. The first bonfire is usually fine because no one knows anyone yet. And we're gonna ignore Cherie completely losing it when Javen literally rejected someone.
I am really attracted to you. And I don't know what to do with my hand.
Degrees to not judge me. Oh, I can't hold hands though. I got up. It just happened, and I've been drinking.
It's like, don't even want to watch.
All right, nice talking to you. What'd I just do?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Even the host was confused.
I truly am not sure what he confessed to.
He told her not to touch him, and she touched him. So he walked away. No, he didn't even walk. He ran. Like, what is going on? Why is she crying? We're still only in episode 2, so I'm just glad she didn't overreact.
The fact that, like, he would just cross the line in that way is just really hurtful. We're done.
That's essentially what bonfires are, so let's see how each couple did. Let's start off with Katie and John. John spent most of his time here being extremely respectful of the relationship he has with Katie until he attended the first bonfire. In it, he saw a video of Katie doing what she does best, disrespecting him. In the clip, she tells a complete stranger that she doesn't think John is man enough and insinuates that he'd be a bad father to their hypothetical children.
He's just not as manly, I suppose. And I hate to use the word manly, but I'm always like wanting to do outdoors things, active things, like if we were to have children. He would be able to teach our sons how to do that kind of stuff. Yes.
After that, he was still respectful, but became a bit more aware of what Katie might do during this retreat. So let's see what she does. I want to make this very clear. She is not a good person. She spends way too much time hating on John, and when he finally catches wind of it and says if she doesn't like him, she should leave, she began to cry.
I need to just forget about Katie and just focus on myself, making connections with the girls here. I feel like I've been a good boyfriend to her, but if she thinks otherwise, then, you know, move on.
Sure.
Let's not waste each other's time.
How you feeling?
It's not good.
First line got you?
Yeah, that sucked. That was rude. It's okay.
He said nothing wrong and she's acting like the victim of the situation. I wouldn't wish this kind of relationship upon my greatest enemy, John. Run! After that, she lets loose, exploring her connection with Wynn and saying words to him that would cross most people's boundaries.
But that's in getting to know you. Like, what's not to love? And you're so funny, and that's actually the way to my heart. You stir kind of butterflies, you know, like you kind of have that giddy feeling. You are the only guy that could rock my world.
Hey, John, buddy, your girl just said another man is about to rock her world. I think it's over. When he saw that during the next bonfire, I think he agreed with my sentiment because that led him to kiss Catherine the very next day. Which he denies, obviously.
I'm sorry, I can't kiss you. I don't know.
What? You just did.
I did not.
Her lips simply bumped into his. That's all. It happens all the time if you really think about it. While that was happening, Katie was, let's call it indulging in the lust of several men.
Yeah, kiss on the cheek.
Kiss on the cheek?
Yeah. There you go.
No, I need.
Give my kiss on the cheek. There you go.
That's a good one.
Hey, hold on.
Then starts kissing up another man in the corner of her bedroom, which she invites to sleep in her bed the very next night. At this point, they're going tit for tat, and Katie's winning. Or losing? I don't know what's going on anymore. All of that debauchery happened since the previous bonfire. So in this next one, they're both about to see some shit they aren't ready for. When John saw what Katie did, he was obviously hurt, but he also said he felt relieved because that means it's finally over. They both cheated.
It sucks to see that, but part of it's a relief. And it's gonna be pretty much an easy out for me.
He also lets us know he was planning on proposing if they were able to make it through this together.
I was like, okay, if she can prove her loyalty and commitment to me, I'll propose to her. So I think it's a blessing in disguise because we could have been married. She could have been cheating on me then,
Yeah, your girlfriend cheated several times in the span of 24 hours. But on the upside, you don't have to spend all that money on a wedding. When Katie saw what John did, she was also sad, but was relieved too, and felt a lot less guilty for her adulteries.
It makes me feel a little less guilty for having a connection with Johnny, for being touchy-feely with Johnny, for
having feelings.
Yeah.
That's basically that for them. Everything that happens past this point is null and void, as they're both technically single now. But I'll tell you anyways, because I love how messy things between them get. Katie goes all in with her new lover, Johnny, by making out with him on the beach. And his name being Johnny is actually insane. When John finds out about this, it may hurt him more than anything he's seen yet. Her and Johnny make out again that night, and we're about to get into bed together to do God knows what, when Wynn barged into her room to warn her that Johnny may just be trying to get into her pants. As if his ass ain't trying to do the same thing.
I almost feel like he's making it a point to make a scene to come to the door, to warn me about Johnny.
Talk about cock block, am I right? Then John and Catherine make out in the pool, which leads to them laying in bed together with John's hand reaching up her shirt. When it's time for them to reunite and make a decision on where their relationship should go, John still wanted to get back together with Katie.
We looked at wedding rings and we talked about marriage and taking a huge step back, obviously.
A step back? Brother, it's done. Over. Finito. How many times does she have to teach you this lesson? She has to be the one to end it, telling him once again that he's not man enough and that he makes her not want to have kids.
But for me, I just can't see myself, having children with you. And it's not that you're not great with children. It's just the type of man that I want for my household and the type of man that I want to lead my children. But, sometimes I feel like I have to kind of baby you a little. I kind of have to mother you a little. I feel like I have to kind of maybe pull ambition out of you a little. You make me not want to have kids.
Hey, I would literally kill myself if anyone ever said this to me, let alone my girlfriend. I am going to change the trajectory of both of our lives now, thanks to you. This is probably the type of shit you hear on loop in the deepest pits of hell. Literal nightmare fuel. So she breaks up with him and they both leave the island alone. And when the producers went to check in on them a few months down the line, we find out that John gave her yet another chance. And she cheated on him again with Johnny. He flew her out to New York.
After Temptation Island, when we came back to the house, I was willing to work on things with Katie just because I'm forgiving. And she was still trying to act like lovey-dovey, like she cared for me. And then she's like, hey, so you're gonna be really mad at me. And I'm like, what? Johnny bought me a flight to New York.
My brother in Christ, Are you a cuck? If you are, you can just say it. Like, we don't judge around here. Are you a fucking cuck? Hey, no bullshit. Maybe she was right about you not being a man because you clearly lack any semblance of self-respect. You're spineless, and it's embarrassing. I felt bad for you before, but I'll save my sympathy for those who deserve it. Jesus Christ, man. She cheated on him multiple times on national television, and he took her back expecting something different? Hey, buddy, do you know what the definition of insanity is? Nicole and Carl. Since their relationship was shallow, this synopsis will be too. Carl cheated on Nicole by letting Brittany use his wee-wee as a seat while they were in the pool. Then cheated again by going skinny dipping with the same girl, then letting her use his wee-wee as a seat once more. But this time, on the terrace. The only thing Nicole did was let another man rub her back while in bed. That's wild in itself, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing compared to what Carl has been doing. But when he saw that clip during a bonfire, he wasn't too pleased.
Little disappointed that he's in her bed this quick. She could have easily stopped it there. I see his hand doing a little motion too. It's disappointing. Just the bed period. You didn't have to get there.
Which prompted him to have sex with Brittany, because that's clearly the responsible thing to do in this scenario.
I slept with Brittany. I don't feel proud of it.
Then tossed her aside like a used rag and told her to have a good life. See you around, buddy.
But I've always told you, since this has started, that, you know, I'm gonna have to go home. I'm gonna have to have conversations. I hope you have a great life, whether I see you again. I hope you have an amazing life, whether I see you again or not.
This guy is genuinely an asshole. He fornicated with another girl and thinks he'll be able to walk back to his girlfriend as if nothing happened.
I gotta go back to Chicago and say, hey, are we done? Are we moving forward? What are we doing? And even if we move forward, it's gonna hurt. Like, yeah.
You're right.
I'm missing all relationships. So imagine if you're
shitty relationship and I'll go home and I'll figure out how to get over it.
I've been with her for 2.5 years. I'm not closing the door on her.
Shut the fuck up. You just did. This douchebag has the gall, the audacity to cheat on his partner and expect a warm welcome home. Brother, she should put a shotgun to your forehead when you show up. He did everything he feared his girlfriend would do and acts like he's done nothing wrong. Nicole did end up sharing a kiss with what's-his-face, but that was long after she saw Carl go skinny dipping with Brittany. To her, their relationship ended right then and there.
I feel like some of the actions I've both seen and heard from the video message he sent me are showing just that he's not ready.
Not ready for?
I don't think he's ready to be, you know, like deeply in love with me. I feel like he has to work on himself still. And I don't see from him having his experience, I haven't seen any growth. I'm kind of at the point of just realizing and trying to recognize what I deserve.
When it was time for them to meet again, they each talk about their experiences on the island before making their final decisions. But Carl lies to her and omits the fact that he had intercourse with Brittany. The only thing he mentions is that he went too far.
But then I did make a connection with Brittany, and then it went too far.
What he did with Brittany wasn't shown to Nicole because after a certain amount of days, there are no more bonfires. And he's well aware of that, using it to his full advantage. For all Nicole knows, breaking their rules and going too far is when he stepped in that pool without clothes. He also tries to act like he only decided to break boundaries based off Nicole's actions with the guys from her house.
During the bonfire, I saw you getting in bed with somebody else and being intimate with them and seeing them touch you the way I touch you, it hurt me a lot. And after seeing that, I thought it was only right for me to open up at that point.
Which is a straight up lie. Nicole didn't get into bed with that guy until episode 5. And by that point, Brittany already claimed Carl's crotch as her new personal throne. He's a manipulative liar, and it works!
Nicole, you hear Carl's decision. Now is your chance to answer the same question. Do you want to stay with Carl, or will you be leaving the island alone, or will you leave the island with someone else that you've connected with? It's for you to tell Carl.
I want to go home together and figure it out.
She looked like a war veteran having flashbacks of Vietnam when she said her answer. He can't get away with this. Ref, please do something. And by the grace of God, the host, Mark Wahlberg, great host by the way, he's like a therapist, the way he's able to make these people open up and be vulnerable. He intervenes and points out the fact that although they say they want to leave together, it seems as if there's an invisible barrier sitting in between them.
Your words both say you want to be together, but you haven't seen each other for a month. You didn't even shake hands. What's going on? What's really going on here?
Then Carl finally takes off the sheep's clothing and shows everyone who he truly is.
So what have I done that doesn't bring depth to our relationship? This is 2.5 years. You gotta gain depth. You gotta gain trust, respect, loyalty, all those things. That's called a foundation before you can get those things. That's depth.
I just want to bring a new level of depth of me. And I think I was holding myself back at home. I think I had a wall up. I felt too nervous and scared to be vulnerable with you because I felt like I was going to be judged. And being here has like shown me that it's okay to be social and outgoing and be connecting with men. And I just feel like I was scared back home because you don't have trust in me. You feel like I'm not loyal, and it creates this weight on my shoulders that I'm nervous because of the way that you'll react.
I feel like as you should have a weight on your shoulder. I feel any woman should know, hey, my guy's in the room. I want respect. Not for my woman to float around a bar and seem as if she's single.
To Nicole, I'm sure it's nothing new, but to us, it's highly concerning. You want respect and loyalty while being a literal cheater. Interesting. You disrespected and were unfaithful to your partner, yet demand she upholds these values for you? Fascinating. When you die, hopefully soon, please donate your brain to scientists so they can crack open your skull to see what the hell was going on in there. The joke here is when that package gets delivered, they're gonna open it up and get a big pile of ain't none in there but hot air. This is textbook narcissism. Rules for thee, not for me. She still doesn't know he slept with Brittany, but him doing all this snapped Nicole back to her senses, and she ended up breaking up with him.
I feel like I want to learn and grow and develop in myself, and I know you understand that, and I don't know if I would be able to do it at the same capability if we were in a relationship.
So you've come to the decision that you'd like to leave the island alone?
Yes.
The way I cheered and celebrated when she shut down this dickhead, you'd think I put money on it. Casey and Evan. This one's bad. I know the last two were messy, but this was a hard watch. I'll just get straight to it. Evan loved every second of being here. To him, it was destiny.
There's been so many signs leading up to this showing me that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be here on Temptation Island. I'm supposed to seek out these relationships. I'm supposed to see what's out there. Because, I've turned myself off for so long.
He sounds like a caged beast who's finally been set free, and that's exactly how he behaves. It took him 4 episodes, 6 days, to completely forget he had a girlfriend. He meets a girl named Morgan, and after a bit of a shaky start, they hit the ground running. They basically make out every day, go on ultra-romantic dates that make them look like lifelong lovers. She gets in his bed at night and begs him to stick it in, and the very next night, he actually sticks it in.
I couldn't fight it any longer last night, and we had an amazing night together.
And I almost forgot to mention the fact that he straight up asked her to be his girlfriend, whilst already having a girlfriend.
My intentions with this girl are more than I ever thought was possible. Well, you already know I asked you to be my girlfriend last night.
What? Wait, what?
At this point, I don't even know what to say. Casey brought him to this island hoping for something. I couldn't tell you what. This is like giving a drug addict super fentanyl. To us, she just brought a kid to a candy store, and he's about to leave there with a girlfriend that is not her. Throughout this experiment, her reactions to the things he did let us know exactly why they were able to last so long, even with his proclivities. She's an idiot. Not in a derogatory way, because I'm not trying to attack her. She's genuinely just a fool. In the first bonfire, when Evan talks about how he's been suppressed from women for too long, her reaction is, yeah, he's right. He deserves this.
Aww. Yeah, that's so true. He's been so closed off. So I'm glad that he's opening up to it because he deserves it. He's been through a lot.
Moron. In the second bonfire, when it shows Evan embracing Morgan, letting her know that he's gonna make sure she doesn't go home, Casey's reaction is, ruh-roh, that's not good.
Yeah, not good.
Dimwit. In the third bonfire, where it shows Evan making out with Morgan for the first time, Casey's reaction is, oh man, this is torture. I just want to give him all my love.
It's like torture. You're strong, done. Literally being tortured. I feel numb. Like all I want to do is just love him in whatever capacity that is.
Imbecile. In the fourth bonfire, where it shows Evan and Morgan literally having sex, Casey requests to watch it by herself. And when they give her the iPad, she closes her eyes. She's smart enough to know where things are going, but if she doesn't see it, I guess it didn't happen.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what happened.
Well, you tell me what you heard. I didn't see it. Nobody heard it.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure he's taking it too far.
What is too far?
I didn't really hear much, so I'm pretty sure there's probably a girl in this room.
They showed her video proof of her man being taken for a ride, and her response was, nuh-uh.
I just really need to stay in a good headspace, so you need to respect the fact that I cannot watch that video.
I understand, but
I'm telling you, I'm gonna walk off.
But they could have been doing anything.
Walking off, done.
He'd never do that. I didn't see him do anything, but if he did, we'd be over.
My clip didn't have any talking in it, so I'm just scared he's already hooked up with someone. If he's had sex with someone, then I think it's over.
I ran out of insults. She's just she's a fucking Casey, okay? This is the one of one right here. In the fifth bonfire, where it shows Evan asking Morgan to be his girlfriend, Casey's reaction is, Evan will be Evan. He's just so impulsive and gets caught up in the moment.
He's just back to old Evan.
What does that mean?
He's impulsive. He gets caught up in the moment.
Lobotomy. She's clearly been lobotomized. I actually heard they were giving out free brain surgeries for any contestants on the show, and her and John are the only ones who accepted. When it's their turn to reconvene and make a decision, Evan tells her that she dragged him here and forced an unfair ultimatum upon him. So he's done. He found himself a bad bitch. He good.
And no matter how much I love you, I've opened my heart up to someone else.
She tries to leave the island with him regardless, but when he tells her once again that it's over, she starts begging and won't fucking stop.
Please. Please, please, please.
I needed this so long ago.
I'm begging you. Please.
Casey, you know what.
Please don't give up on this.
You know more than anyone else what I've gone through. You know what's going on with me. And you just let it go, and you didn't care.
I did.
You didn't care for years. No.
Please.
Mark.
Okay.
God, Evan,
Casey.
why are you doing this?
This might be the most humiliating thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen that one podcast with Sneeko on it. She has negative self-respect, and that's abundantly evident. What am I watching? This is gonna sound harsh, but if I raised my kid and they ended up like this, I failed as a father. And if I ever have to watch it on national television, please take me out back and put a bullet through my skull. And the most ridiculous part of it all is during the 6 months checkup, we find out that Evan and Morgan are still together and stronger than ever.
After the last bonfire with Casey, I, got Ghost and got my things from LA. Now I'm out here on the East Coast in DC, and it's been amazing.
I don't even know what's what anymore. The cheater won. The bad guys win in the end. Karma's not real. The serial cheater ended up with a bad bitch, and they're living together happily ever after. So I guess it all worked out for the best in the end. Ha!
You can't keep getting away with He can't keep getting away with it.
This whole experiment was an elaborate setup. They scammed these people into risking their entire relationships for no reason. There's no grand prize at the end of the tunnel. Nobody wins anything. From the moment they stepped off that boat, everyone in attendance was destined to fail. Aside from Javen and Cherie, of course. The same couple that everyone doubted and laughed at. The same couple that I doubted and laughed at were the only ones to survive this massacre. I genuinely thought it was over between them based off the first episode. They came into this with one of them already being a cheater.
I caught him cheating a few years ago, but at the same time, I just want him to prove to me that he's actually officially changed.
That's all the proof I needed. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Isn't that right? And we're at each other's throats the entire time.
Oh, so you think it's good for you?
I didn't say anything like that.
So why wouldn't you say it was horrible for you too?
You serious? You like got me started. You wait, listen, let me say one thing. Let me say one thing.
In hindsight, I guess they were just nervous, and them constantly bickering was their way of coping with the stressful situation they were in. Yes, Cherie overreacted when Javen rejected a girl.
We're done. I feel empty right now. I'm done. I'm honestly done.
But in her shoes, who wouldn't? He told her not to touch him, and when she did, the only logical way for him to react should have been to punch her dead in the face. Out of self-defense, of course. She touched you without your consent, brother. You're a victim. And that's why Cherie was crying. The love of her life was just fondled in front of her very eyes, and she wasn't able to protect him. That's a fate worse than death, if you ask me. Aside from that tragic moment, top 10 tragic moments of all time, by the way, right behind 9/11, fact check it, it's true. Both of them spent the entire season growing and learning as individuals. They had a weird rule that neither of them were allowed to have friends of the opposite gender. In Javen's case, it's pretty obvious why, but for Cherie, she just chose not to. I'm lying. It's a bit more extreme than that. She avoided speaking to men at all costs for 8 years.
I'm a little anxious to meet the singles because I haven't really conversed with single men for 8 years. So this is just bizarre to me.
How is this even possible? How does one function like this? If she was working as a cashier and a man pulled up to buy something, would she pull a gun on him and tell him to skedaddle? I need to know how she pulled this off. It's quite impressive. I try to avoid women at all costs, but they just won't stop throwing themselves at me. What am I supposed to do? Through this experiment, she learned that she could be friends with men, and if not that, at the very least, could converse with them without spontaneously combusting. She also learned that she's able to trust Javen around women a little bit more, as she was able to watch how he'd behave in a house full of them whilst being a hot commodity.
When I find out who did this, I would persecute them to the fullest extent of my life. I'll tell you that.
He's really funny. He's got a very dry, endearing sense of humor.
I'll be in contact with you.
He's so cute. He's adorable.
He turned down every advance from multiple good-looking women, and that's exactly what Cherie needed to see. As for Javen, he learned that he could trust himself around women more, because he knows what he has with Cherie is special and wouldn't risk it for anything. When they finally met up in the end, it was nothing but good vibes. Not only did they decide to leave the island together, Javen also proposed and they're now officially engaged. These two survived real trials and tribulations. 90% of their peers ended up cheating on their significant others and burning down relationships they spent years cultivating down to a crisp. But not these two. They're different. Throughout heaven and earth, they alone are the honored ones. Anyway, that was fucking terrible. Juicy watch, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing to gain by making an appearance on this show. You don't get a fat cash prize like they do on Love Island, and they won't pay for your ring and wedding like they do on Love is Blind. So what's the point? The only winners here are the producers. They get to make a profit off the backs of vulnerable relationships and through glorifying cheating. So if you show up to this island while in said vulnerable relationship, there is a high likelihood that it will not end well. So just save yourself the trouble and public humiliation and break up normally like everyone else. Through email.